Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Alright, let's get some updates of some news this week. Again, not much of the policy updates or announcements, but we are expecting 2024 as an exciting year where a lot of policy that has been promised and said, for example, by the Immigration Review back in April last year, 2023, and also the Migration Strategy Plan in late 2023. So all of that, supposedly, most of them, I think 70% of them will be implemented this year. So 2024 will be a very important year for all the updated and the new visa policies. Now, first of all, let's put our vision and our focus to Queensland, shall we? As Queensland yesterday has announced some sort of opening for some skill migration, and let's have a look at what it is. So Migration Queensland, as you can see, the program updates, registration for priority processing 491 is now open. So let's just click in there and have a look what it is all about. Now, understanding subclass 491, it's for regional skill migration. Okay, so you gotta be in regional. So if you're in Brisbane, I'm sorry that you're gone. So other than Brisbane, anywhere else, if you reside in the state of Queensland, you probably will have those opportunity there. So this window is only open. I don't know why they do that. Supposedly the given numbers of allocation from the immigration to the state of Queensland is minimal, so they're only giving out windows of from 23rd, that's yesterday, so we're pretty updated, until only Tuesday 27th of February 2024. That's Tuesday next week. So you only got today, Saturday, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday, and it's closed. All right, so you got to be very quick. Now, the application must be decision ready. Well, no, what does that mean? Now, decision ready means you have to have all the documents ready. For example, skill assessments, results, IELTS result, PD results, evidence of employment, so your work, pay slip, tax payments, blah blah blah, or employment contracts to show that you are working there, and you got to show that you're living and working in regional Queensland. So for example, you probably don't own a house or real estate there, so you probably have a lease and rental agreement, internet payment, or electricity payment, or any other evidence showing that you're living and staying and working in regional Queensland, and have to have ongoing full-time employment for the further 6 months time of the EOI lodgement, and you meet all the criteria there for the Queensland skill working living in Queensland. So we'll go back there and we'll go next page to actually see what, just get everybody to just refresh. We haven't done this for a while because it wasn't open. There's no quota or allocation for skill migration for the past, I don't know, I can't even remember, probably 6 months or more. For these people generally interested in 491, now it's basically telling us stop calling us to asking us to give you 190 rather than 491. They're not going to do that. Applicant for graduate in Queensland University who meets the skill work regional 491 are encouraged to register priority processing. So what does that mean? That means if you have graduated in Queensland, now the definition for that one, I think it's you gotta study the full program in Queensland, okay? Then they will put you in the priority processing. That means comparing if one guy study in QUT and the other guy graduated from University of Sydney. I'm sorry, the Sydney guy will be put on hold and we will choose the guy from QT first. That's basically what they are trying to say. Okay, now this guy, and although I said QT, but once they graduate from Gardens Point or Kelvin Grove, they're required to work and live in regional Queensland. Okay, the target campaign to see expression of interest for decision-rated application for skilled work regional. Register interest. We do not guarantee. If you're genuinely interested in 491 nomination, there will be one of your final chances to consider. If your application does not meet Queensland criteria, is not decision ready, it will be closed. Migrating Queensland continue to process blah 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 for all the financial year. So let's have a look at the next page for skilled worker living in Queensland. So basically, you gotta be in those postcodes. Now it's very easy to understand. It's just other than Brisbane, anywhere else is regional. That's basically what it is. So, and we look at this table here. Now the best way, let me just magnify that a little bit. Okay, now the best way to read this is discard what you see from the left, but focusing on what is on the right hand side, because that's where the 491 is. So let me read them out. It's pretty simple. It says you gotta have at least 65 points for the point test, and you gotta have an occupation, so that will be including any type of occupation. Competent English, so that's IELTS 6 or above, and then must provide evidence of living, working in regional Queensland, full-time post-qualification employment minimum of 30 hours in the nominated or closely related occupation. So what does that mean? That means you got to work on what your occupation should be. So if you have been assessed with a skill migration assessment as a cyber security specialist, and then you work in the sushi restaurant, will that meet the requirement? No, of course not. That's not closely related. Okay, just bear in mind there. Must provide evidence that you're ongoing full time. So that means you will have a contract or offer and commit living in regional Queensland for the next 3 years, because you need to have that 3 years in order to transfer to the subclass 191 of a permanent residency. All right, that's for the Queensland. Now let's jump to another news. Let's just have read about this. Now, as you have foreseen for the recent month and year, there has been a lot of problem causing with the current Australian government. So there has been a little bit of talks about let's have read on the title here. It says unshackle immigration from Home Affairs and give it its own department. Now you may have a Google on this news and read the detail there, but briefly let me just give you a quick note on what it's talking. Okay, so it's basically saying, look, Department of Home Affairs is too big. Okay, it consists of the Border Force. It consists of the Australian Security Intelligence Agencies Office, and it also consists migration. And also it's just have all of the crap bundle all together. I recall back in, I think it was 2017 or 18, they were talking about this Department of Home Affairs to become a super department. It's so huge, it managed everything. So what's happened now? Now, if we look back to the date before the former government, that's Liberal National Government, Department of Immigration was separate. It is independent of any other departments previously, and the former government decided they wanted to merge numbers of different departments into Home Affairs and make it a huge department. Now the Labor government has been on board since 2022. Now they are talking about maybe we pull them out again, just separate them again, because immigration department, it's huge. It's not like an immigration department for a lot of numbers of Asian countries where they don't depend on immigration much, but Australia immigration does have a huge effect on nationwide and economically. and also affecting international education recently. That's the next news that we want to have a look. So I'm pretty welcome to for a Department of Immigration to be independent. So it will be, it used to be called Department of Citizenship and Immigration, Border Protections, and then they all merge all together, become a Department of Home Affairs, which now we're really confused. Sometimes we don't know we should listen to the Minister of Home Affairs, Claire O'Neill, or we listen to the Minister of Immigration, Andrew Giles. So now I think this concept of pulling immigration from out of Home Affairs, I'm pretty welcome on that. I do believe immigration is a very complex department that should be independently operated. Otherwise, there's just too many things has been tangled and strangled the actual department for the last few years. Make it what's happening in the recent years once they have been merged into Home Affairs is that we start to experience, and this is the fact, as we start to experience delay, okay, and which we don't like it. All right. And that's what's happening there. All right, so see what happens. We don't know if it's going to be they will really pull immigration apart from Home Affairs, but see how that goes. Now, talking about international education, it has been a big topic recently because it has caused earthquakes, storms, you name it, tornadoes. It's just disasters, okay, to the international education. So more pains come from students as institutions will protect their immigration rating. Now, what does that mean? That currently immigration is penalizing the education providers if they have any visa refusals. Okay, not just the applicant, they don't get a visa, they cannot come to Australia, but the education institution will be penalized. So in part of that, this education institution starts to rejecting applications. So let's have a look. Now, is it good or bad? I think it will go through a cycle of reshuffle, and it will balance back, but it does require something to be done within the international education realm, because there just have been too many not a genuine and good application. There has been too many people utilizing student visa for the purpose to just stay in Australia and work. Now everybody will know what I'm talking about. So these will be removed, and which is good. It's not the true intention of how the government had designed the system to go anyhow. So what's happening here is that the source has told that the several institutions are moving to not accepting applications who are student onshore. For example, they're in a tourist visa, or they're on a graduate work visa, or they're on the COVID visa, because generally a lot of these applicants are not genuine. They are here to just get a visa, stay in Australia, or continue staying in Australia, and work, which is true. Now, it's not saying that all the people using the travel visa or 485 visa or 408 visa shall be rejected by the education institution. It still comes to the merits who these people are, their background, and what they want to study. For example, just give you an example, there has been too many education institution offering the diploma of the business and leadership course, which is it's basically a course just to get you a student visa and work there. Okay, no one genuinely would like to study such course to actually improve their career profile. It won't. It doesn't. Okay, or some people come in with their highest qualification as a master, and they trying to apply for a cookery course. That will be highly rejectable. Okay, so that's what's happening there, and we have foreseen some of the university doing the similar conduct as well, just to avoid getting, protect their rating, avoid their being penalized by the government of Australia. So let's have some of the wording here. Here he says, we are responding to migrant strategy in relation to visa hopping, which government is focusing on addressing permanent temporariness. In the strategy, temporary graduate visa are specially highlighted, restricted to transfer back to student visa. Onshore will apply. So if you have graduated and you got your graduate visa, I don't think they can ban it, but they will do a strict check on people enrolling back to become a student. In relating to work holiday visa, they take decision proactively respond to restrict onshore application based on migration strategy for foreshadowing other changes restricting onshore visa hopping, meaning there's a lot of people they are working holiday makers or backpackers. They work and then they find out their visa is gonna expire next month, so they quickly find a private institution and enroll into what? The diploma of business management leadership, and then they get a student visa, and then they can continue to stay and work, which is not the intention of what government had planned to for the whole student visa scheme for. So that's basically what's happening there. Now the earthquake and the storm will continue to hit the international education industry and market. So if you want to come to Australia to study, you gotta be genuine. You gotta ask yourself, is this choice or options really a genuine option that could actually adding value to your or the student body's career profile? You gotta ask that question. If that doesn't, then why on earth would somebody study something, paying the money and get a visa for? And that's where the criteria will actually check and trying to prevent these people to continue to do so. Anyhow, should you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below. I'll see you next video. Goodbye.